What's up, everybody? It's your favorite show, Get a Bucket. I'm your host, Train, as usual. Hope you're all having a wonderful, wonderful day. And you see, you got my boy Sebastian out here. Sebas, how's everything, man?
Hey, it's going good. My guys, we're just now getting in season. First games next week. College basketball back, football, everything is here. So it's been good.
Big fact. Do you believe that your team is gonna win it all this season, or you feel like, you know what, we got a shot, but you building more towards the future?
I'm always say we're gonna try to win it all. It's always gonna be the chance. The thing is, we always try to win every game, but at the end of the day, we are kind of rebuilding for the future at the same time. So we'll see. I think we'll have success now and later.
Okay. That's a good answer. I like that. You're never supposed to say you can't win it, even though you know,
Exactly.
even if you know you can't.
Exactly.
You're never supposed to say you can't win. Like I can beat Steph Curry easy. I can beat KD. I'm not gonna say easy on KD. That's a tough task. But yeah, you're never supposed to say you gonna lose. So I'm glad you said that. Now, Seabass, I got a question real quick, both, and I kind of want to take on this. So I'm gonna show you this video. Let me know your thoughts on these predictions so far.
Okay. Ooh. Oh. Man.
So, like, I had eventually Miami and the 49ers. What's your take on that?
The Niners are tricky. They have everything in the world to make to the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, it's Jimmy G. We just don't know about them. So I could see them going to the Super Bowl again, but I could also see Jimmy G fucking it up in the first round for him too. So that's what I think about them. And then the Chiefs, the Dolphins making the Super Bowl. The way they're looking at offense, they look unstoppable on offense. Like in terms of throwing the ball, it's just too much speed. So if there was a team I was going to bet to beat Patty, I'd bet on them before the Bills, personally.
Okay.
I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, so I'm going to pick him to go to Super Bowl. That's my only other thing.
Okay. I got to say, I know the Eagles look beatable, right? I do like the Vikings offense. It's arguably the best for me personally.
I can understand that.
But
especially Hawkinson now too.
That's the reason why I said it's the best offense, because again, you had Thielen, you had Jefferson, you know what I'm saying? You have Cook, and then you add Hawkinson. That's tough, bro. But the quarterbacks is where it get a little tricky. And I understand you, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, you putting them over the 49ers. I'm not mad at that. I think it's a close game. I just like the addition of Christian McCaffrey. And now you get Samuels, you get Mitchell back too. Like, they have enough pieces where I think Jimmy's not going to mess it up. Plus, the defense is stout. And when I think of the Miami Dolphins, I remember the Panthers, 15-1 season, we looked unstoppable. And we just ran up against a tough defense. Like, there are so many good offenses that run up against a great defense, a good defense. I think this 49ers boast that. So that was my reasoning. But you can't sleep on Patty Mahomes. I think the Eagles are up to get out, to go get up against. So I can't be mad at the Eagles in the championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's your ultimate, I guess, Super Bowl prediction, if you had to say one?
Who's going to be in there and final score and everything. You want all that?
You don't have to do final score. That's tough. I mean, if you want to take on that task, I'm not going to say it.
I might. All right. So my prediction. I've been saying it for a while now. Since started a couple weeks ago. I'm gonna say we're getting the Eagles, Chiefs Super Bowl, and then. I'm an OU guy. Jalen was there when I was there. Jalen is getting a Super Bowl mostly because the way the defense of the Eagles is playing. That secondary, and once they get Jordan Davis back, they just added Sue and another D tackle to shore that part up. I think that might have helped them. So I'm gonna go Eagles. Eagles over the Chiefs.
Okay. That's realistic. Like I could actually see that happening. Again, the Eagles have a good offense and defense. The Chiefs, they have a good offense, okay defense. Like I don't feel like it's overly great, right? So
they just bend don't break. Honestly, that's it.
Yeah, so I can see that. I can see that. Okay.
I just go by like the thing that really makes it for me is like, how is your QB poised? Like if your QB is poised, you tag that along with the defense, then I really like that team. And that's what the Eagles have right now. It's just now I would say the Niners, but it's just Jimmy G. I'm not a fan of his poise. He be scary in there. Same thing with Kirk, but Kirk has taking a step. This is the best year I've ever seen him play. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run into the NFC Chip.
Okay. It's a lot of it's a lot of things that can happen. Like I said, I like the Vikings. Like every team we talked about, I could easily not easily, could go to the Super Bowl. So when the playoffs come, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time.
So that's wide open. We've seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I could say I could agree. Because even the Packers could sneak into the playoffs. And I don't know about winning the Super Bowl, but if you say they got there, I could see it. Because Aaron Rodgers is solid. Maybe they click. Like, who knows? You know, even the Cowboys.
You got Brady on the back end. Say they run off of 3-4 games in a row at the end of the year. Everyone's healthy. Julio's back. Defense is finally back. They could make another run. So it's
open a little bit. I'm glad the Bucs actually have a good chance at winning it. Because I feel I'm glad the Panthers didn't get the first spot like we could have. Because I think we would have tried to fight for that playoffs again, which we're now able to tank and get. You know what I'm saying? I feel like y'all are in a similar situation. I don't know who you're going to.
Oh Lord, don't even talk about my Saints.
I'm not. That's another episode for another day. Trust me. Because I already know who I'm bringing on with that one. So I got you plugged in with another Saints fan and a Falcons fan, hopefully. So.
Here's my question to you, though.
You said what?
CJ Stroud or Bryce Young? Or do you want Will Anderson?
I don't know. I asked my homeboy about this. I haven't studied them like that either. So I have to look at him. Like Bryce Young seems cool, but he doesn't seem special. Like when we had Cam Newton, we got someone special. Like we had a special talent. I feel like Bryce Young is cool, but that can be replicated in the NBA potential. I mean, in the NFL potentially. So I got to see. I got to really look at him and study. Like,
he's on that new small quarterback trend too.
Yeah, 6 foot, like a little quick. I'm like, all right, that's not bad. But
yeah, I don't. This draft class is tough for me too because the 2 QBs I like the most personally don't graduate until I think one is next season and one is the season after that.
Who's
and
that?
It's Shador.
Okay.
Shador is a dog to me. Shador Sanders over at Jackson State, he's a dog to me.
Okay.
I want the Saints to go after him. Like we cool. We don't gotta try to get nobody special this year to QB, but go get him. We can get him. And then Drake May. I don't know if you've seen Luke May, little brother. Plays for UNC.
Of course.
He honestly should be number 1 in the Heisman race right now. The way he's playing, true freshman, I think too.
That'll be an interesting discussion.
Look up his highlights one day. I
will. I'll have to see because that's when you say Heisman, that's a lot on it, Seabass. That's a lot on it.
He should. Hey, he is balling right now.
Hey, that is a player focus. But that is a transition though, because the next discussion we're gonna talk about is college. Ironically, just on the basketball side. Again, it's called Get a Bucket, but we do talk football as well. So, Seabass, hope you and hope you all who are watching enjoy the highlights as we transition onto the show. That was a good win. That was a good little win right there.
Great game.
That was a good little focus right there. I like Dame. I like Josh Hart right there. But
They're playing good. They're playing good basketball. The Blazers.
Yeah, no, they are. They are. They really are. They really are. But we're not talking about NBA right now, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about college basketball.
All right, let's do it.
Oscar Tshiebwe, right? Like he's the reigning Wooden Award winner. Let me hit him like this real quick. Do you have anybody, I guess, that you say can take the throne from him? Can he win back to back?
So I'm a Kentucky guy. That's my squad. If I were to guess, I do not think he's going to repeat. One is because I think we're a deeper team this year, so he's not going to have as many of those giant stat games as he had last year, because we got a couple other bigs that came in and that could really play, and then we got some scorers that really take a lot of points off his play too. So if I were to choose one for Wooden, I'd say Wilson from Kansas. That would be my guess.
Okay. I can't be mad at you on that one. He had a big game against us. He is one of the players I had on my list as well. There's a couple of players up here who play well, and I think because of their team, it'll help them out. Again, like Keontae George, for example. He looks like he might be able to have the offensive production. Plus, he seems electric. And then Baylor, they're going to be a top 10 team in the league, like in the college game for like a while. Armando Bacot, he's another player. Again, his team should be a top 10 player. And it hurts me to say this, bro, because you already know, ladies and gentlemen, my team are the Blue Devils. You know what I mean?
He ain't just pull out a rim. He ain't just pull out a rim.
2015 should have been a couple of years, but we don't have to talk about it. But like even Hunter Dickinson, which mind you, he's from the DMV, so like all the six, like I like a lot of players out here. Even Drew Timme, although I feel like Drew Timme kind of might get a little like voters fatigue. He's been up there a couple of times. There are a couple of players up here who actually can beat out Oscar Tshiebwe.
Timme, we have a big Wooden Award matchup this weekend because Timme goes against Tshiebwe.
Yep. And look, that's a would you rather at the end. So I want you to think about it. Don't give too much bias. Tough. You see your man's right, Jalen, though. Hey, I can't hold you. I definitely thought about putting like the highlights from him against us, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that.
No, that's too fresh. That's too fresh.
But I played the entire video of us losing to them, so I'm like, all right, I can do that. I did do that. I was like, I have to. You know, we played well. You know,
it was a great game though, so it's not like y'all ain't compete, dude. Him. And then freaking Grady Dick just closing the game out. Or half his points was in that last, 2-3 minutes or something like that. They got a good team over there in Kansas again. I honestly forgot they won the Natty, to be honest. Right? I feel like a lot of people forget it. And they look good.
They do. It's going to be crazy if they go back to back. It's going to be crazy if they go back to back.
I would be surprised if they did. The way if they keep looking like they did against y'all, I would. Ooh boy, they're gonna be scared.
But I gotta say this though. We did play without Dariq Whitehead, and Dariq Whitehead is like a top 5, top 10 player in the draft this year, projected. So if he comes back and he like playing to what people are expecting him to, like Proctor hasn't looked as good as he needs to. So it's like if you insert Dariq Whitehead instead, takes pressure now off of Roach. He doesn't have to score as much. So now he can be a facilitator, which is what I need him to do. I'm hoping that game goes a little differently. So that's what I'm banking on right now. But like Kansas looked pretty good. I wasn't able to watch it in depth, but I saw enough. Like they look pretty smooth. So let's see how that shakes out. But there was another game though. There was another game that caught my attention. Maybe it caught yours too. Let's see how it shakes out real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Sue's going to try another one from the left side. That one's perfect. Bishop got cut off by Timmy. Rice lost the ball. Rather, Timmy's bringing the ball up himself. And he threw it away. Fast break for Hunter. Allen almost traveled himself, and now he does travel. Hunter got shoved, leaned in, came up short, followed his own miss, got blocked for the foul. Hunter and Carr, and then particularly Bolton.
Really good at Iowa State.
It still feels weird, although it's obviously much more normal these days. His confidence grows. He's a different player. Hunter steps in. Hunter Salas opening. That three is too strong. Young player. Here's Hunter three. Good! Arizona. And until tonight, they had not been an underdog coming into the game. Good defense on a little floater, way short. Salas missed the follow. And Drew Timme could not come away with the ball.
Got to push it here.
Longhorns trying to run Hunter. They call him for a carry.
Position. Watch him get his hand underneath the ball. That's a carry.
Final 2:30 plus first half. Hunter pulls up. Got it. From a mid-major program where he was arguably the best mid-major player in the country last year.
20 points a game.
Cunningham, three! Texas is 7, 3 and a half. Smith, no good.
This game is jumping, too.
It was. And when you saw, it's like when I saw the, I always like a ranking matchup. And like Texas winning like that is tough, bro. It's like Shaka Smart, right?
Their backcourt is nice. No, this is Chris Beard, dude from Texas Tech.
When did Shaka Smart leave?
He moved I think it was 2 seasons ago. I believe 2 or 3 seasons ago. He's over at Marquette now, I believe.
Okay. I want to go pay the money.
I don't know. I think Texas was just so set on getting Beard that they just like not really kind of forced him out, but not really forced him out. You know what I mean?
Inside to the mid-range.
But like I know they've been looking at Chris Beard for a while, man.
Okay. I swear, like over the last 3 seasons, college basketball has been so Duke center for me.
Finish it off.
Oh, I gotta brush up so much. But like in college basketball was loved. In high school, college
because you had all the time to like keep up with all them damn games. Now it's just
that was a good game. That was definitely a good game, bro. And I want everybody to remember that game, okay? Because it will matter later on in the episode. But for right now, we're gonna talk about Kyrie Irving. For Kyrie, right? We all know about the anti-Semitic labeling he was given for promoting the Hebrews and Negro book, right? I don't want to get too in depth about that. What was your stance on his suspension, I guess, and how they didn't make it real clear in terms of what he had to do? Because initially, the NBA was saying you have to apologize and you can be reinstated, and then he made the apology, but now they're like, well, you have to do this, that, and third. So they're not really making stuff clear. Because I can even make the case that he made an apology on Twitter. It's just now we're arguing over semantics. He didn't say the word "I apologize." So, what was your thoughts on this whole suspension fiasco and the NBA? Like, did you feel like they were fair in terms of how they were handling it, or no?
I wasn't a fan of how they handled it. I mean, if you're gonna suspend the guy, just do it from the jump, get it out the way. But they kind of, the way that it went on, they kind of dragged it on, and then kind of based on, I guess, the things that they've heard outside, so like the fans and stuff, then they decide from there, okay, let's run it up in terms of like what to do punishment-wise, and then for them to kind of keep changing the stipulations, I wasn't really a fan of that either. So it feels like they were just doing the make an example out of somebody's type thing, and I feel like that was kind of unnecessary, honestly. So I mean, I'm glad it's coming to an end. I'm glad they were able to meet. Silver and Kyrie talk. He said out of his own mouth that there's nothing like that in a bone in his body, I believe he said. So just let him back playing, which I believe is going to happen tomorrow, and then we can all just get this part of the Nets saga over with, because it's been a lot.
Yeah, no, it has been a lot, and it's been a lot over the last 3 seasons. Like Kyrie's been, we had the vaccine mandate, and now we had this. We had the ankle injury in the postseason. Like, it's been a lot of the stuff that happened right to the Nets. But since Kyrie went down, the Nets have kind of gone upwards a little bit. They seem to be getting a little bit of chemistry. Hell, even Ben Simmons had a solid 15, 13, and 7 game or something like that. I'm like, my man is back. Hey.
So, I think a big thing is like Jacque Vaughn, like the guys are playing for him, so that's good to see. I think that's the biggest difference I've seen.
Yeah, and I low key wish they had Ime, but it is what it is. Like, how do you
first assistant either way? So I'm good with it.
Yeah, that's true. Now, how do you expect Kyrie to come back to the Nets? How do you expect the Nets to play with Kyrie again? Like I said, they got a little better, quote unquote, in terms of the record wise without Kyrie. So inserting Kyrie, the talent he is, do you feel like there's going to be anything wrong with the chemistry? Do you foresee Kyrie being able to play the remainder of the season and not have to worry about anything off the court? Like, what's your take?
I think in terms of fit, he's going to fit in just fine. I think as a whole, I mean, you heard KD's interview the other day. We need that guy in the lineup. I mean, no matter what you can say, when you see somebody with game like that, they got to play, because that type of scoring you're not going to get too many other places. So the fact that that's going to take some weight off of KD, so his 30 points mean a lot more than the 30 he's getting now with those different we look like a G League team sometimes when Ben and them sit out and we start those guys. It does look like I give him that. But in terms of the rest of the season, I just hope he stays healthy. I think that's what I'm mostly worried about. I don't think in terms of this year, I don't think anything else off the court is going to happen, hopefully. I think he recognized, okay, I don't want to put myself through that again. I think he's just going to focus on hooping. Him and KD's going to get together, focus on hooping through his 1 year, get through it, and then see I don't know what they're going to do after that, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised we move both after this season. But I think we're going to finish the season strong as long as Ben, that's the key call right there, is what is Ben going to do? So if he has confidence in his back, then we can be a good team. But if he's like a little shaky, then I can understand us making an early exit. So I think it all depends on Ben more than Kyrie.
I feel that. I wholeheartedly agree. I don't want to say the season goes, how far Ben goes, but if Ben Simmons can return back to the player that he once was, which could be a tall task because back injuries are kind of hard to get over. They're scary because you have KD, you have all these weapons around you, and we've already seen what he can do with a dominant force. Like, I'm not saying KD's like Joel Embiid, but from a dominant standpoint, scoring the ball, KD's even better, and
he's a better fit with him too.
Exactly. So you pair Kyrie with that as well. Damn, that's tough. Like you got a lot to work with. So this Nets team, like I personally feel like it's still a contender. I have not dropped faith yet. I do still think they can get to the finals. Saying they're going to get there definitively is a little tough to say.
Exactly.
But like I'm not too far off from that. Like if they had Ime, I would make that statement. But I'm pulling for Kyrie to have a strong return. I think he'll be laser focused. I don't think he'll want to have any off-court antics. Just hoop, just get through the season. That's all. Because you're kind of playing for your next contract. We know how you are, but I feel like people are going to want to give you like a 1-year deal or like a 2-year, like a team option. So really, it's a 1-year potential. If you cause too much havoc, like that. That's what you're going to be playing for. So I feel like Kyrie wants to show people, hey, I'm worth a multi-year deal. Like, bring home that championship. But the Nets won't want to lose you then. So It'll be an interesting season. It'll be an interesting season for the Nets. But Ben Simmons is the key for the Nets. So.
I don't think any team has like a wider way we could finish. Like you said, we could end up making a run to potentially the finals. Is it not very likely? It's not, but it's possible. Or we could go out the same as last year. Like it both can happen. So I think we're the hardest team to judge.
Y'all and us, we're scared. Like we're tough too, because if we ever get some quality shooting, or if someone just starts hitting well for us,
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It turns completely different. So it like both of us are in the same situation. I get that. I get that. Now, one player in particular that I did want to showcase. It's not really just one because it's gonna be the whole game, but this one player has come back. Right, it's a college game though, but I'm glad he's back and gracing us with his presence.
He's back to college. But it's made it work with one. How about the defense though by Kobe Buffkin? And Buffkin down the floor. Farrakhan gets by Buffkin to the first college game. Jet help. Billingsley can't knock that down. Farrakhan gets by Buffkin to the. He has his first college game. Jet help. Because Billingsley can't knock that down. And Williams, the freshman from Michigan, that Juwan Howard's really. Imani Bates for three. Went to Memphis at age 17.
Gracious, Imani.
Yeah, Imani was like he was. I'm interested to see how he turns out as an NBA prospect. I feel like he can definitely get there.
I think people judged him a little quickly last year because people kind of forget. Like last year was technically his high school senior year, so I wasn't really expecting him to walk into Memphis and just be that guy.
I made a video about that and said like he'll be able to return, and like people made a comments with it was acting like he's not that good. Like so many young players don't thrive. Like Derek Thornton, when he played for us, he was 17, and I used to judge him coach college football, and I'm like, after the season, I thought about it. I'm like, damn, all right, that is. He was young. He was.
Like he transferred up, like that's a big step.
Exactly.
You don't see a lot of people be able to do that and then keep up with the speed. And like with him, with his frame, I think that's what really was the difference between him doing it and somebody like Anthony Edwards, who had a grown man physique since he's been in high school. So it was easy for him to do that.
Exactly. But honestly, basketball is really about who is able to, I guess, endure the most physicality to a degree, mixed with who has the most skill. Like, if you're able to do so, if you're able to like run faster than people, you have an advantage. Like, you don't have to do certain skill aspects. Like, if you're a better athlete than somebody, you have that advantage. Like, people have to be high skill as you don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Trying to get through two defenders to shoot. Puts it up at the end of the.
How do you feel about Imani's shot release?
You feel about who?
Imani's shot release. How do you feel about it? Do you feel like it's too low?
It looks weird. It just looks weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it is low. But with how tall he is, or might end up being, I don't think it'll affect him too much. But it does look a little funky. I think it's just because how long his arms are. But it kind of has that same look as KD, it's just a lower release point.
But see, like, his arms are short. That's the thing. Like, compared to his height, his arms are like, his wingspan is short.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know. That's a good point. It goes in. As long as it goes in, that's what the NBA feels.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But now, it's just surprising. Someone his caliber, like of a scorer.
Mm-hmm.
Although I feel like his shot would be a little higher, a little easier. But I don't know. Who knows?
It's probably a tweak they'll make in the league for sure, though.
Yeah, something. But like I don't know, he clearly knows something better than we do. He's at a higher level than we are. But like I said, it's just surprising. But speaking of surprises, right? What's your biggest NBA surprise outside of the Jazz? Because again, that's the universal answer right now. Like nobody expected them. Like if you're saying you did, you are lying. So again, what's your biggest NBA surprise so far?
The biggest surprise for me is I'd say for a team is the Cavs, and I want to say the Cavs not as much because of their record. So I don't think their record is like top of the East or anything, but it's like how quickly they're gelling. Like I did not expect Garland and Mitchell to figure out this quick, and then they're still playing high level defense. I mean, Mobley is looking great defensively. They just look good, and they're figuring out how to use Karras right. Kevin Love's bought in. He's been balling off the bench. Like how quick they gelled and how they're competing with every team, whether it's like the Bucks or the Warriors, whoever the lead are, they're playing them good. And then you see D. Mitch miss a game, and then Garland goes for 51, just like that. So I think that's be my biggest surprise team-wise, is how they can.
That's not a bad one. I'm personally not surprised, but I also understand why you say it. Because when I looked at the Cavs, right, they had Sexton, and I always felt like they tried to give Sexton Donovan's role, and I didn't think Sexton deserved that. Sexton is a solid six man, which is what he is on the Jazz. Donovan was that starting caliber two guard that you need who can pair up with Garland. If he was a little taller, different discussion. Like Cavs would be possibly my favorite, if not this season, next season, so that way Garland can get more experience in the playoffs. Yeah. But that would be like that's the only thing they're really missing. Like that, either a bigger guard, but Donovan cool. So then they got to focus on the wings. But they still got Mobley there. They got Jarrett Allen there, so they can make up for stuff. Like I'm not mad at you saying the gelling factor, because adding something like Donovan Mitchell, that is a lot. Like,
that's a lot of shots you're adding into that team. Yeah, and for them guys to take a step back like it was nothing, and the way and then Donovan repaying that by getting more active on the defensive end again, like he was in the early years of Utah. I like that team. I like the way they look.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned Donovan repaying them back, because like that defensive aspect was always a knock for me for Donovan. Like he wasn't the best. He
stopped playing it those last couple years. He just stopped playing defense. I don't know what it was.
I don't know, but he had the ability, and I always hate that. Like the players who have the ability, you're not playing defense, trash. But I'm not mad at that one. I think my answer might have to be the Warriors drop off. Like I was not. I'm cool with a championship lull, right? Like you lollygagging a little bit. It's still early. They can turn it around real quick. Like in like 2 games, they can be in the play-in. I just wasn't expecting like Wiseman to go back to the G League. But like to be fair too, though, he's been in the league for a couple seasons. He has not played that many games, so I got to be fair to him. Then, but the most troubling thing is the starters look solid. I think the starters in the league for the Warriors is like one of the best ones. The bench is one of the worst. So it's like that's wild. Like we just paid Jordan Poole. I'm not a Warriors fan. I'm just saying. But like, didn't Jordan Poole just get $140 million? Like, like that's crazy. And I see him trying to become a better playmaker. I appreciate that. But this makes me feel like, all right, either y'all hit really well late in the season, or you're planning for next season. Like Clay doesn't look as well as he could. Like he still feel like he's still trying to figure stuff out. He's forcing right
now.
So it's like I wasn't expecting this from the Warriors. I thought they were going to come out not necessarily blazing, but like a 4th seed, maybe a 5th. So the fact that they're not even in the playoffs, like they're around the Lakers right now. That's
10-11 right now.
Yeah, that's a little troubling. So I think they're 11 or 12, and we're like 14th or something like that. It's disgusting. But those are big surprises. But either way,
when I look at the Warriors,
Uh-huh.
I think the thing that killed them, I guess, because they expected it, is the three young guys just didn't take a step. Like one looks like they took a step backwards. Like Kuminga looks like he got a little worse, and the other two just, I don't know. Like I don't know why Wiseman can't figure out how to just block shots and catch alley-oops. Like that's all Warriors centers have had to do since Steph got there is Draymond, Steph pick and roll, just have your hands ready for a finish. Like they never asked their centers to shoot. They never asked to do nothing but set screens and roll to the basket. And he can't catch right now. And he doesn't know how to position himself when people are driving, and it just clogs the paint. So it's just, those were supposed to be those three rotational guys that replace like the Gary Paytons and stuff. But they're not looking good right now. You're not taking that jump.
I feel like it's not Wiseman's game, quote unquote, to just be that role player. Like he wants to be, like his game is more like, all right, I can be the star. I can be like, that's been what he's used to. High school, college, like that's just been him. So it's still early for Wiseman. I give him a little bit more leeway. With Kuminga, I'm expecting for you to make like a solid jump. Again, it's still early for you, but you came in the same draft class, to give the context, with Jalen Green. Like you were on the same team in the G League as Jalen Green. Jalen been hooping. I'm not saying you have to be exactly like that, but at least give me role player minutes and show the team that you're confident in that. You don't seem like it. I know you have the talent. I think I'm assuming you believe he has the talent. It's about just showing it. And he did it last season, which is crazy. So I wonder what's going on in that organization. It's just a lot of things that's kind of worrisome right now. And then
it's funny you said that about the Jalen Green thing, because you can think about the players they could have had instead of the people they took. Like I remember, like instead of Wiseman, they could have had like a LaMelo or Tyrese Halliburton, and imagine how they fit within that system, because both of them play that freestyle, just zip the ball around style that the Warriors love. So imagine getting them two, and then maybe instead of Kuminga, or they get Franz Wagner or whatever, and fit him into their system. They look like a completely different team, ready for now and later. But now it's like, we know you're here now, but the later is kind of, did you guys miss on those picks?
I say that
it's early to say, but it looks like it's trending more toward they're missed on them picks. So we'll see.
Yeah, I say the Warriors. I actually made a video saying that was their mistake, or if I didn't make a video, I had it written down. But I've definitely said that before. They should have gone LaMelo when they were being drafted. I said they should have gone LaMelo because he can now have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson as weapons.
Yes.
Like they don't have to be playmakers. They can continue to be the Splash Brothers, the shooters, and Klay can still defend. At least I thought so. But hindsight 2020.
Poole wouldn't have to be a playmaker anymore off the bench.
I don't think Poole's on the team, and you keep Wiggins now. So no, I'm being honest, bro. And now you have Wiggins. So and LaMelo's not trash on the defensive end, so he can guard two. Steph can guard one.
And even if they reached up for Halliburton, say they reached that 2 for Halliburton,
that would have been like,
I get it because of what
I wouldn't have got it. But the hindsight, though,
because I seen him. So when he was at Iowa State, I saw him play. I'm pretty sure when I was at OU, I went to see him play. And the poise and everything he plays with, like it's just like no one's there. It's literally like no one's there. So when I seen him there, I would be like, of course, I don't think anybody else would have understood. I would have understood it. I would have had to see it work. But I would have understood taking that pick because of how he fit within that system is exactly what they need.
If you told me based on archetype, I would understand it. Because again, too, he's a younger guard as well, so he can help. He can help extend Curry's career. So exactly. I definitely get that. Now, we gonna still have basketball, right? We still gonna have basketball.
Okay.
But we gotta treat the ladies properly. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta go ahead and do this one time for the one time.
Oh yeah, this was a good game too.
AZ is tough, bro.
AZ's tough, man. I'm really sick Paige is not out there.
Yeah. Whole time, AZ, Caitlin, and Paige could go to the draft next year, and Paige could go to the draft this year.
Do you think that will ever change? So you know how men's basketball, like, it's a super one and done era? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the women's. What's the women's rule? Is there a rule that says they can't come out?
You got to be 22. That's
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you got to be 22, and it's like because that's why I said Paige is eligible for this draft. Caitlin's not though, but they're both
juniors, right?
Juniors, because AZ is a sophomore. Yeah, so that it sucks, but also at the same time, like I'm trying to imagine. All right, let's say Paige leaves after her freshman year, right?
Yeah.
Is she physically able to handle the WNBA? I don't know. Like, but you can say the same thing for the NBA. So
exactly.
I feel like if they're able to play, they should be able to play.
So my question to you is like, say, so you know how hyped up Paige was coming into her freshman year and the whole freshman year, right?
Yeah.
So imagine you take that hype and go straight to the WNBA with it. Do you think the WNBA gets more popular if they're able to get those type of players in the peak of their popularity?
I think it helps, but for real, like Paige has only gotten more popular. Like March Madness helps out. You know what I'm saying? Like the big games against like South Carolina, the number one. Like she's playing against Aaliyah Boston. Okay, Aaliyah Boston's like a good player too. They hype up Aaliyah Boston. Like all right, like I understand where you're coming from. I just feel like their followers aren't going to go anywhere. Like. Yeah. I watch AZ whether she's in the WNBA or the NBA, and honestly, she might get more PT in college than the WNBA, so you get to see her more often. So, but I mean, that is a fair question though. Again, if they can hoop, they can hoop. So, I would like to see it.
I wonder if they'll ever make that switch, like just say Sam James NBA, just be 1 year removed and go from there. So I do think some of them would be capable to hang.
I think some, but like
it's just it wouldn't be as many like those rookie stars just going crazy. Like in the NBA, a lot of rookies go crazy. It's because it's just more teams. Like WNBA, there's like 12 teams. So those teams, each team is stacked when you really look at rosters and see what they were in college. Like each roster is loaded.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But I think to a degree, I do think you need to have them go through college. I still kind of feel the same way about the guys as well. Like if you do go college route, do 2 years.
Yeah.
If you do, but if not, go to the pros. And if you can't make the pros, then you can go to the G League. Same for the women, although there's no G League. So it's like I'll give you like some leeway with that somehow, some way. Yeah. But you don't have to play all the seasons, but at least 2. Just make sure physically you'll be ready. Because we want to have a good product. I want you to be good enough. I don't want you to struggle because then basketball is a game of confidence too. So make sure you're improving at all facets of the game. So that's what I got to see. But I think that's a perfect transition on into the next segment, which we got the NBA Most Improved Player. I stated before at the beginning of the season, I thought the most improved player was going to be Domantas Sabonis because he's going to come back to stardom a little bit, maybe get an all-star nod. He's been playing well, him and De'Aaron Fox for the Kings. I also wanted – did I say Ben Simmons? I might have said Ben Simmons with like a runner-up type deal, but that might have changed for me a little bit. What's your take on the MIP so far? It's a long season.
So my prediction was Evan Mobley. Do I think he's improved a lot? Yes, but I think it's not enough like surface level stuff that people just is easy to see for him to actually get that consideration or that nod. So I think for me, as I think everyone's answer should be the same right now, it's Shai Gilgeous Alexander. And this boy, this man, like when you look at what he's doing right now, he's doing essentially the same type of scoring that John Morant did last year, where it's like 17 to 18 points in the paint every game, but they're doing that at like an above 50 clip, which is like they're scoring like Giannis in the paint, but they're short guards. It makes no sense. And in his mid-range game, he's shooting like above 50 from the midi. So he's like a real throwback player to like the 2000s when I watch him. But then he has like that herky jerkiness of the new era. So I just like the blend of the eras with him.
Yeah, like he's lanky. I don't want to say he's short, because bro, ain't he like 6'5"?
I mean, not short, but like, on the shorter end, you don't expect like a 6'5" guy to be up there top 3 in points per game in the paint. That's that is tough. But like you said though, that herky jerky, that he's kind of creative. Like you remember Alex and Mason? Mm-hmm.
You remember how he's just shifty and stuff like that? Like I'm not saying he's like, it's just like there's certain aspects of Alex's game. And I'm like, all right.
They play off their pivot super well. Like he plays off his pivot so well. Like you watch Shai, he's going to, a lot of times he gets in that paint and he's literally just going to pivot fake you until you finally bite and then boom. But
I'm glad you said Shai as well, because I also had him. If you look at, again, you can look at either just watch him or you can look at numbers. Numbers-wise, if you just look like points, rebounds, steals, blocks, stuff like that, he's putting up quality numbers across the board.
I think he's top 5 in steals and top 15 in blocks.
Exactly.
So that's a two-way guy too.
Exactly, like 2 steals and I think 1.5 blocks or something like that. Like that's pretty solid. And then in win shares, he's given me two games, which that's attributing for how many wins he attributes for. And when I'm talking about win shares in like 2s, we're also talking about like Steph Curry, KD. Giannis actually does not have a 2 in the win shares. He's at 1.7. Really? JT 2.4, Luka at 2.7, and Shai's at a 2 even. So again, just showing you he's improved, and it's really the defensive end that's gotten it for me. Like offensively, I remember my boy Jordan was telling me, hey, he's a bucket, and I didn't really study that much about him, because like all I knew was, hey, he got traded for PG, saw he was good on the Clippers, but cool. Then he gets to the Thunder, it's the Thunder. Like they're highlighting Lou Dort. No disrespect, but like Lou Dort in the grand scheme of the NBA is not doing much. So I didn't study them, but I paid attention, knew he had it on the offense. Defensively, he has the physical tools. I like what I see out of OKC right now, especially if they get Chet back healthy and he can be productive along with a top draft pick potentially this year. OKC's looking prime, and they'll be having Shai with the MIP this year potentially. Although Kristaps Porzingis and Lauri Markkanen do get some love.
Lauri is the other one I was about to say is Lauri. I think Lauri got to be second, because what he's doing for that Jazz team is like, it's everything. Everything. When they need a big shot, they're looking at Lauri first.
Hey,
that means something.
Clarkson's cool too. But Lauri, I think, has separated himself over the last couple of games too. Like it does seem a little different now. Like that, I don't know if they would want to trade Lauri off this squad, which is wild, because I thought they would want to go after Victor and Tank. But who knows? Maybe they ended up doing right by trying to work with Lauri. Like he's signed for like $18 million for like another season or 2. So, and
the way the Timberwolves looking, they still might have a chance at Victor with the lottery odds. So they might have won out in the end.
That's so crazy. We got to see if they kept their pick or not, though, because if they were able to retain this pick, maybe it'll work out. But if so, they're in better shape than the Lakers.
So now, even though it's early, I know it's early, is that the worst trade we've ever seen in NBA history? Is that Jazz trade? Because look how terrible the Timberwolves look.
Nah, because I still don't. So I talked about this in another video. I don't think it's fair to say who won the Jazz, Cavs, Wolves trade, just because it's way too early. Like the Cavs are starting out solid, but what if they just like fall off for whatever reason? I said the Cavs, right? Because that's what I was thinking about. The Jazz, they sound similar. The Jazz, they starting out really well, but they could very easily fall off. And the Wolves have struggled, but we've seen good teams struggle and then turn it around. So, like, it's way too early. And to be honest with you, I said the Wolves will be a 4 seed this year. I didn't have them as the title favorites, though. Like, I had them more so for next season. I hated that people are going at D'Lo. I kind of get it, though. But it's too early for me personally to say the Wolves, but they have been playing worse.
The thing that scares me about the Timberwolves is like the way the Donovan Mitchell and like Rudy Gobert relationship was on the court. It looks the exact same with like Anthony Edwards, where it's like, I'm never gonna look at you rolling to the basket. I can't trust you on the offensive end, and then you can see like it is. I don't know if it's Rudy Gobert specifically. I don't know what's going on with him, but Anthony Edwards just don't look engaged in games anymore, and I don't know why. So and that's the question I just want to know. Does it have to do with Rudy Gobert coming in and like clogging stuff up in his eyes, or is it? I don't know.
I think it does play a factor because again, Rudy is not the most offensively polished player. Mm-hmm. So when I'm looking at like Ant, yeah, he want to shoot, but he want to throw that thing down too. And he's dunked the ball too. Don't get me wrong, but Rudy clogs the paint like perimeter, you know. So
before it was Cat at the 5, so like Cat shooting threes, so it's basically 5 out half the time they play. So it's a lot easier for him to get his. But with Rudy, like he has to be in the dunker slot, or else he's literally useless.
Exactly. But I do think too, Anthony Edwards I would expect him to start taking a lot more threes and mid ranges. Like you don't have to necessarily dunk the ball, and then when Rudy's out, that's when you attack. Like you don't have to. You can play 5 out. Just take Rudy out, and you can do that. Like just as the coach, I would notice these sort of things and then kind of make that adjustment. Because I honestly feel like that's what it is. Like you can easily have people. They're going to play together, but you can have them have their own like play style come out in moments. It's just like, all right, bring Russ off the bench. Let him play the way he wants to play. But he's still going to have to play with LeBron James. So, I mean, like, you can very easily, like, get these guys on track. Like, Rudy knows he can't really be a scorer like that in the league. Yeah, he can get you 15 a game, but it's often like play. So, like, honestly, he has to accept the fact that he's really a role player. He just
and in Minnesota, I think it's tough for Minnesota because I think by the end of the season, we will see that Rudy's minutes have to go down instead of be like this 35-plus minute guy. He probably should be in the 20-25 range. But do you pay him that much and give up that much draft haul and players to not play him those starter minutes? I mean, so you're just stuck in a bind if you're that GM and coach.
So I think 20 is a little low. Like 25 to 28 might be cool, but that's close to starter minutes. The pay is what it is. Like you knew what you got when you signed up for it. So you're going to have to suck that up for the next couple of years and just bank on the fact that Cat is going to have to play more like Giannis and Ant is going to have to be that guy, which both have the potential to be. And D'Lo is going to have to be more of a floor general. Again, all have the capability. They just have to do it. And the coaching staff might need to be a little bit better. But that's just me. Ime, maybe you want to give your shot with the Wolves.
Hey, honestly, I think this is what they'll do. I think they'll – who's their coach now? I can't even think of their coach. Is this a new coach or the same one?
I think it's Chris Finch.
Okay, so I think what I think will end up happening is they'll get a head coach either some point this season or at the end of in the off season. I think they'll give it one more try, and if it doesn't work, I think they will look to move Cat. It's a hot take, but I think
they do. I agree. I think they look to move Cat as well.
Do you know who my guess is? Is this the superstar? Well, not superstar. Is this the star that the Knicks finally make a playoff?
Who are they giving up? Julius Randle?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think it happened until next season, so I guess it depends on that. But is this the move they make to get somebody to New York to kind of start coaxing in the West?
I would bring Cat, but at the same time, I know people from New York might not like Cat. I got a friend from New York.
He got soft skin,
yeah. They say Cat is Cat, and mind you, I'm giving you the PG version. Like, and they say it with pride, dog. Like stick chest out, everything with all emotion and passion. So that's I don't.
It's hard to play in New York. You gotta be built different.
It is. But I will say this: if they had gotten Donovan Mitchell first,
he was built for it.
Maybe. But we'll see how that shakes out. Are you got some time for some would you rather's real quick?
Gotcha.
Okay, bet. We're gonna hit one more highlight, but then after that we do some would you rather's, and then we call it a day. So hope y'all enjoy it so far.
Here's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being guarded by Denny out to
And this is why I'm glad we talked about things, because like I had to play. Well, I put this up there because one, Darko was supposed to be on the video, so I was like, as a Wizards fan, we might not agree with this, so I had to throw this up there. But like, he's been a bucket the entire season.
Kick out to Morris, swing to Beal, and the three is up.
Man, I really, the league has to hope OKC doesn't get that number one pick.
If they do, that's I don't know if I was telling you or somebody else, but like that, if they get that, they are championship contenders. Like,
they're changing the way the league looks. To have Chet and Victor as their 4-5, like that changes everything.
Yeah, monetarily they can't keep it together though.
No, probably not. They'd have to move Giddey for sure.
Oh yeah, Giddey's out of there now.
Giddey would be gone, and I think the other Williams that they got to get him. They drafted two of them, but the Santa Clara one will probably have to get moved too.
But see, they got like Poku as well, and Giddey's really like the floor general. Like,
he does a lot of things for him. Let Shai do his thing.
So I don't know. You might have to let go of. Yeah, honestly, you might have to let go of Shai at the end of the day, because he's the best trade asset outside of Victor.
Be able to step back. Out to Porzingis.
You already know.
I like Bol, and honestly, Bol and Mo Bamba, they're not going to go anywhere for like a while, just because of players like this. Like, I think the big man market is going to be like the wing market.
Yeah. The new thing is it's hybrid, like big, like 4 guys who can honestly play the three if they really need it.
Points in this quarter for SGA.
They look crazy out there.
Offensively here. As Kyle.
You said what?
I said, and then just like this new hybrid player that's going to start is that 3-4 hybrid, like the Giannis season, and Scotty Barnes, and freaking Victor can play the 3, Chet can play the 3 for me.
Paolo can play the 3.
Paolo can play the 3 for 5. Like, that's just the new thing now.
Yeah.
Morris guarding Giddey. Take Morris.
And I think the Magic, if they keep that core together, my goodness.
Yeah, they don't need to. Honestly, I think I told you, Cole Anthony, I like off the bench. They're just like a star guard away, or even like a solid complimentary guard with Jalen away. And I still gotta like see if Jalen fit too.
Yeah, I like Wagner too. I love Wagner.
Yeah,
I love his thing.
Yeah, he's impressed me this year.
His step back 3. Oh, he hits. Looking for Beal. All the way out in the corner. The hand was tipped by Dort. As the ball goes through, there's just not a lot of space over there for a play like that.
We talk about trying to get Brad maybe in that backcourt.
You know the sad thing, though?
What?
All these young teams we talking about with loads of potential, I feel like their organizations might mess it up. The Thunder, I have a little hope in just because of how they had Harden, Westbrook, KD. I got a little hope in the Magic.
So this is what I'll say.
Dwight, but
this is what I'll say to that. The OKC is in a good situation with the youth because Shai got to be around Chris Paul. So, like, the problem with all these younger teams, they don't hire real vets. They're signing, like, other young guys who don't know how to win, who really don't know how to be a true pro and stuff like that. So it's like you're teaching the youngest guys bad, and they figure out on their own instead of hiring, like, 30-something-year-old vets who've been there, done that, show them how to do things, and now we're going to get them better faster. So that's why I think OKC's in good hands, because they got CP3 there for a year to show them, look, we have nowhere near the most talented team, but we just took the Rockets to 7 games because we did this, this, and this as a team, being just good pros. So that's why I think OKC's in a better spot.
I feel you on that. And honestly, when you made that statement about CP3's mentorship, that does make me want to say, all right, maybe you want to trade Giddey. Because, again, Shai can play make it himself. I just think as a playmaker, Giddey's a little bit better. But hopefully Giddey's trade value can go up. And if you have to trade somebody, Giddey's enough where you can finesse that. So that way you can get the contracts right. But maybe, they'll end up paying everybody and learn from their James Harden mistake. But, they got their own would you rather, if you will. So I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we're here because I got a personal one. I feel like this one might hit home to you, Sebastian. Those of y'all who don't know how we do this, it's would you rather. So I asked Sebastian, would he rather choose this team or that team, or this player or that player? So, Seabass, real quick. Saints versus Panthers. Who would you rather put your money on? This season, who would you rather put your money on?
So we're both, I'm pretty sure, 3-7 right now?
Something like that. I really don't be
I think we got the same record. So if I'm going to say, who do I believe is going to have a better record at the end of the year?
Oh, I meant just game. I don't want to
bet on the game. So you already beat us once. Next time we play y'all, we definitely double. Yes.
Y'all definitely double.
I'm
Let me ask you this. Who's going to be your quarterback?
Hopefully Jameis by then, because Andy Dalton is killing me right now. Listen, Jameis had a fractured vertebrae. He is not good enough to play on an injury like that. So I'm glad he sat out this long and got fully healthy. Supposedly he's still not fully healthy. That's why he's not playing. Honestly, at this point, I would rather try Taysom Hill at QB than Andy Dalton, because Andy Dalton is killing us with them picks.
Hey, Taysom is a bad boy. Like,
at least we'll control the clock with him.
You said what?
At least we'll control the clock with Taysom in there. So.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, I don't believe that we'll go up like that. So it's not like you'll be playing from behind. so you don't need to worry about the clock. Like, I like PJ, don't get me wrong, but like, we not killing nobody with PJ. Like,
Foreman going crazy though.
Huh?
Foreman going crazy. I picked him up in fantasy. He was saving.
Hey, I mean, look, we need somebody to do something, right? Like DJ, he cool. I like DJ. Don't get me wrong. That's about it. Like, we traded CMC. It was really him and DJ for the longest. Chuba out, I think. Like, we needed something. So, like, hell, all our quarterbacks were injured. Thankfully, Baker got injured. I'm not wishing injury on Baker, but like, yo, just don't play, bro. Just
at least Terrace Marshall looked good.
Who that?
Terrace Marshall, y'all receiver.
I don't even know who Buddy is. Like, that's how they. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just want y'all to pay. As I'm talking to the Panthers right now, I just want y'all to understand. I'm looking forward to next season. So, like, I've not really put as much emphasis as I usually would on y'all. I know we're not going to the playoffs.
Just go ahead and watch Bryce Young and CJ Stroud highlights and figure out which one you want.
Mark told me to go for Bryce Young, so I got to look and see who. But he also said, too, that he didn't check the other two QBs because they're rated higher than Bryce. So I got to see what we're looking like.
CJ Stroud is rated number 1, and people have been loving the Will Levis guy from Kentucky.
Yeah. So I got to
like him. He's not better than Bryce, in my opinion.
I got to see because Bryce seems cool. But again, if maybe Archie Manning or somebody like that might be a little better going forward. I mean, by the time we get Bryce, that's an investment, and we're not gonna just let Bryce go. Bryce is a high. Like I already know how that's.
Well, as a Panthers fan, would you rather continue to build the rest of the team up and wait for a quarterback like from that 2023 class was like Archie, Nico, Malachi?
Yep. Because my thing is this: if I can build up a team, I can find a solid quarterback that would want to come to my team. Yeah. And then if I can get if I can get a low enough QB drafted, like I'm good with. I don't need the top tier QB.
You can always trade up too, like the Niners did.
Exactly.
I think they traded up for the wrong guy, but.
Or you can trade up. But I also don't think, too, like your QB has to be a top-rated player. Again, Tom Brady was 6. I think it's about who you are as the person, how hard you work, stuff like that.
You gotta know who your guy is.
Yeah, so that's why. I also do understand on the trading up part because, again, people get older. It's a business. No disrespect to the players, but they understand. Like, you're not going to be healthy all the time. So it is what it is. But, that's fine. That's dandy. Now, these next 2 teams, young, talented, and I actually was curious about who has the better future going forward, right? But during the NBA season, this is what we focusing on. 4 games, let's say they play 4 games, right? Mm-hmm. Is it going 2-2 split, 3-1 favoring the Celtics or the Grizzlies? Like, how are you feeling about this matchup?
Playoff games. He worked here yesterday, 14 finals games. Eric Dalen in his 15th NBA season worked the playoffs. Slam is there to pick it up. Shot clock down to 8. Bane, deep 3. Bang, 5. Marcus Smart, a scoop and a score.
Get the ball that when you get it, you feel like it's time for me to get a shot.
Morant, that time she missed 1 game due to illness. And a lob there for Tatum. Grizzlies have held their last 2 opponents to fewer than 100 points. Dillon works the baseline and
take and the number of guys that can make threes for this team.
Smart finds the scorer's table for the Grizzlies. Great look, Tatum with the slam.
Big on the interior. Grizzlies will have opportunities.
Brown got all the. Morant drives. Lays the clock down to 3. Bane, a pump fake. Gotta go. Floats it up and in.
Drive right hand floater.
Vonleh pitches it out. Hauser for 3. A game. Tatum was 6 so far. Conchar banks it.
100% healthy?
Yep, 100% healthy. Everybody there. Rob, JJ back, everybody back.
That's tough. I'm a 2-2 split it.
I'm a 2-2 split it?
I'm a 2-2 split it.
Okay.
Thrown up by Taylor Jenkins.
Brogdon, who battled injuries in Indiana, late Bane off the bounce. A kick out and an Aldama.
Big points.
Big return on investment. White able to turn the corner in deep. Lines up a Tatum triple. That's in.
For help. You can't have multiple guys helping. That's leaving the 3-point line open as Tatum. Celtics able to get extra possessions.
Tatum for 3. Brogdon on the deck against Roddy. Out of the corner. Tatum against Roddy. Puts it on the deck. Got to the cup.
Team, if you're going to have a chance.
Brogdon steps inside the arc and a
proven starter in this league.
20 straight points.
Guys on the floor that shoot the 3.
Morant has an answer tonight, averaging 6 assists. He has that many already. Laravia, a back step.
Good hustle here by Dillon to get it back.
And a good throw ahead to Brandon Clark for the slam.
Now, what about if we were in the playoffs? Of course, it's got to be the finals, but if
7-game series?
Yeah, we got to have that differentiator. I got to see if there is a differentiator for you.
All right, this is what I'll say. I will say the Celtics, and I will say this because their most key players are less injury prone.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm always scared something's going to happen. Bane, JJ gets nicked up a lot. Bane has been pretty healthy. It's just this one time he got hurt. Hopefully it doesn't continue. But when I look at the Celtics, I know Smart's going to be there. I know Brown's going to probably be there. Tatum. Those guys stay relatively healthy all the time. So that's why I choose them in the 7-game series.
That's fair. The best ability is availability. I do say, though, Ja, because we did say everybody healthy, although you can get an injury during the finals, right, during the series. Ja could be the most dynamic player in this matchup, though.
Yes, I think 100%.
And I think he could be possibly the best leader on the floor. Might have the most dog in him on the floor.
Yes.
When I have that pairing up with a Dillon Brooks, who also is injury prone, he's been injured over the last couple of years too, but he also plays his ass off. That Wolves team takes on that persona that Ja gives off. And I do think that Wolves, the Grizzlies, and I do think that Grizzlies team can get over the hump of a tough Celtics team. Like,
they can beat them in the series. I agree with that.
So I think the Celtics will be favored. But if I'm on FanDuel, I'm throwing some bread down on these damn Grizzlies.
Grizzlies lead the league, averaging 32 points in third quarters. Bain drives, scoop, score. Swing. Ja for three. It's through to Chase as Boston continues to make the extra pass. And Morant, a walk-up three. It's through. Bain ahead of the field. Boston. 7th assist by Morant. Tatum spins baseline and banks in the paint tonight. And a lob, Smart.
This is valuable education for them.
Brown, a step-back gun that goes. It's against the defending Eastern Conference champion. Morant, a step-back gun. He got that. Brown only 1 of 6 now from the long line. Morant scoops.
His rhythm offensively.
Third foul, Jaylen Brown. Shot clock down to 6. Bain down the lane, elevates it to the sideline. Morant against Vonleh, a crossover, elevates and hits. Shot clock down to 5. LaRavia, a pump fake, a Conchar open three for the lead. Hits it.
For sure.
This is the type of series where it goes a tough 6 or a solid, like a really good 7-game series.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to lean one way, I would go a tough 6 just because I know the Grizzlies are going to blow. I think the Grizzlies would surprise the Celtics.
I trust the Celtics closing games more than the Grizzlies.
That's fair. I'll give you that. They've also been there too. You don't have that. That's fair.
Well, I do think low key, me personally, I think the Grizzlies right now got the best backcourt in the NBA now, with Bain and Ja. That's because it just reminds me of just this dynamic point guard that goes crazy, and then the best catch and shoot dude in the NBA right now is probably Bain, and he is scorching nets, and he's at 18, 20 a game now. Yeah. So, and then they're a deep team, but it's just the Celtics. When I look at them, they got 4 or 5 great defenders they can throw on Ja. So it's not like they're gonna wear one guy out trying to work with Ja. So it's like Tatum, you don't have to be on Ja all game for this to be effective, because I can put Smart there, I could put Brown there. So you guys, Brown and Tatum, never got to worry about getting tired and not being able to score at the capacity they need to.
Yeah, so, I do hear that.
Brown drives, scoops, and score. Dillon behind a Tillman screen. Conchar covered up by Tatum. Conchar! Morant at the scores table. Brown down the lane. Lays it up. Thrilled with it. Smart. Tatum off the bounce against Aldama. Tatum.
Not a robust 37. He just gives them what they need.
Dillon, a turn and gun off glass.
They get the front of the ball, so he's got to take a shot. Good move here.
Bain, got Brooks. Morant calling for it, wants a 3, a sidestep, triple, it's in. Dillon drives, attacks, boarded by Conchar. Bain, a flyby, a 3 by Bain.
Comes inbound.
Exactly. There's Morant. He slips, and that's the ball game. Boston wins it 109-106.
I just look at, and this is how I look at Ja. I put Ja in the same class as Steph, and I saw how Steph treated them last year. Yep. Plus, I saw what Klay Thompson did and Jordan Poole did, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe that Bain can actually outperform that. And mind you, that's not setting the bar OD high. Like Klay and Jordan Poole didn't blow anybody out of the water. So when I look at that Grizzlies team, I think they can compete with that Warriors team. That's why I have confidence in the Grizzlies.
I definitely think they could beat the Warriors in 7.
I'm gonna say I wholeheartedly understand why you go Celtics. I think I might be making the more riskier bet, because again, we know the Celtics. We've seen how they are in the finals. The Grizzlies, we don't know. It's more of an assumption, but it would be a good series. Regular season, I can see a 2-2 split. I don't. If it's a sweep, one was a close game, the other one was a blowout.
And if we do get a little even more specific, it's like you look at the Celtics. The thing with them is okay, how does this coach do adjustments? Is he as good as Ime when shit goes left?
Oh, that's
bring it back right on course.
Yeah, that's a.
So he's like this because this might be his first playoff run as a head coach, whereas the Memphis dude just went to the conference finals last year. So.
Yeah, that is true too. Fair point as well. Coaching might favor the Grizzlies, so that could factor in as well. And I mean, yeah, no, that's a big one. That's a big one. Now, I'm glad you brought up coaching though, because this next would you rather, I feel like you might like this one.
Oh yeah.
We got Kentucky versus Gonzaga. You brought this up earlier. How are you feeling about this one? Again, y'all look nice. Y'all look good. That Michigan State game went to 2 overtimes. And it's a Michigan State team. Tom Izzo's a hell of a coach. So you can't be mad at a loss to Izzo. Gonzaga just lost 2, though. And that's why I brought up those highlights. And I'm glad people paid attention. Because we have 2 teams that are ranked who are coming off of a loss. So, who's more desperate, Seabass? Do we have Kentucky or Gonzaga?
I think Gonzaga's more desperate. And I say this because they have a reputation for playing the bigger name schools and getting punked and stuff like that. So I'm glad they're testing themselves as much as they have this year. Like they've really put together a good start schedule. But who am I pick for this game? You already know I'm picking my guys. Oscar just had to shake the rust off. So I think him seeing Timmy, he's going to be motivated. We got like 3-4 bigs to throw on Timmy. We got some good guard play. Our transfers are playing good with Frederick Reeves. I like. He came from I forgot where he came from. He came from a small mid-major. He's a dynamic scorer. Cason Wallace, I like him. He showed his youth last game. So, it happens. He's a freshman, so he'll step in. I think Wheeler's going to get his legs together well. And then we just got a good 10-deep squad. So I think with our depth, we're going to win.
And now our tip by Dove Men Plus Care. Strother, Hickman, Bolton. The country working for him. Strother at 3. It's too easy. That is with an early 3. Timmy flips it up and it rolls in. And finish and he can short roll at the rim. Timmy eyeing up. Goes to the basket and throws it.
Is phenomenal for a true freshman. Look out. Good lob finds.
Feed inside and a kick up ahead. Timmy runs the floor. Rebound Gonzaga. Strother at 3. Bam.
Defense move.
Strother flips it up and in. For Shibwe. He gets the offensive rebound and then throws it down. Look out. Toppin backing down. Toppin. Nice move. Gets it to Timmy. Wow. Oh, that's into the front court. Wallace puts it on the floor. Wide open.
He looks a little tired right now. With under 5 to go.
Timmy. We're partners. Watson. Oh! Shibwe spinning. Puts it in.
The actual points they put on just for some momentum. May not get it off.
Toppin, that's a 3. In and out.
Okay. I gotta say, because I haven't even watched. I watched y'all, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to watch it like in detail. Though it was more like in passing. I'm not a Kentucky fan, but I gotta show y'all some love. Plus, again, Kentucky, Michigan State, 2 big name schools, right? Gonzaga. I started watching against Texas. I wasn't the biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was early, right? Maybe they're just trying to shake off some rust or whatever the case may be. Maybe they're trying to figure some kinks out. Like I said, it's early.
Mm-hmm.
Drew Timmy, just for whatever reason, I'm not getting the same vibe that I got the last 2 seasons. And I'm like, maybe that's because Gonzaga don't have what Gonzaga had. Like, you had Chat. You had Jalen Suggs. Like, those are 2 top 5 draft picks.
Yep.
Does Gonzaga have that now?
Yep.
And they've never really been the deepest team.
Exactly.
They just had good talent for once. Like, okay, cool. Exactly. So now, do they have that? And I remember when Duke used to get, like, good talent mixed with those 4-year players. You know what I'm saying? And then there would be years where now we don't have those top-tier talents. And I feel like that could be what we're looking like. But we still got Kyle Singler who hooping. Drew Timmy hooping.
Hooping. I give him that. He's balling.
Yeah, but
there's one thing you can't say about Gonzaga. He's going to get his 20. Drew Timmy, I will never deny him. He's going to get his 20.
But it just don't feel the same way, though. It just don't feel
I think it also goes with what you said. I don't think the past couple of years he had a partner in crime who demanded a lot of attention, because if you slept on them, they'd kill you too. I do not think they have that.
Yeah. And
that's what's killing.
I don't even know if they have a third person like a Nimhard, because I think and Struthers left too. So I'm really trying to figure out who the hell on the squad. But didn't Struthers leave?
I don't know. I gotta double check.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull it
up. I gotta double check, because usually they always have 2-3 guys. Because they had the year they went to the Natty, they had it was Timmy, Suggs, and then they had Cody, whoever his name was, the shooter.
Yeah.
He could ball too.
Wizards.
Yep.
Most of the players have been able to maintain footing. Shot clock under 10 and spin from Wheeler. And Sheway, the rebound and the Timmy on the floor. Puts it up. Inside Wheeler and one. To the right. Good feed inside as Wheeler able to open up and pivot right into the arms of Sheway. Shot clock under 5, and that one not really putting Oscar Sheway in a bind. And Reeves drills one from deep. Yesterday, right? Run that field goal team out there, kick that thing for a game winner. Can have Timmy, little hesitation. Absorbs some contact, left hand, and one. Before Sheway comes back in at that under 8 mark. That's just money. Wheeler launches, hits, not able to hit. Salas pulls it away. Salas at the basket. Wallace uses the window. I mean, a much bigger arena relative to the Kettle. Hopping with the ball. 10 of his 14 of the second half. And that'll go. Make it. Bolton. Yeah, can't go under. Played here in Spokane Arena since 2014. They needed a win, and they got it. Can't dig a hole for Kentucky. It's a 16.
This year, I don't think those.
Struthers is still there.
I know it's Bolton. It's Rasier's there.
Yeah, Bolton, Malachi Smith, Nolan Hickman, Anton Watson, Hunter Salas.
I remember Salas was supposed. He just transferred, right?
Let me see.
I believe he just transferred there.
Sophomore. Looks like he had on a different jersey in his default. No, maybe not. Let me go to this. Nah, he's been with Gonzaga.
You been with Gonzaga?
Yeah.
Okay. I just remember his name was he's supposed to be that one of those guys that was supposed to take that next step to help out. And I don't think he's made that step.
I know his name sounds familiar. It's nothing like he's hit the NBA big boards.
Yeah. He's not nothing crazy. I just know he's supposed to be a solid, good.
Solid, yeah.
So maybe it's just those guys got to grow because they haven't been in this role. So maybe by the end of the year we'll be looking at Gonzaga completely different. It's the beauty of basketball.
Possibly, because it is hard to keep stuff going. It is hard to keep people fresh and stuff like that. So I definitely
never want to play your best basketball in the first month. So.
Exactly. Hell, even Kentucky started off slow a couple times and then turned around. So UNC last year, started off slow and then next year,
natty.
So it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's all about sports. That's all of sports. So, but Seabass, I greatly appreciate this, man. This was a good talk. Got to get you on again. Like I said, I'm not going to try to burn y'all out too much. So I greatly appreciate you coming on the show, bro. Give me his time. I appreciate that, man.
Yes, sir, man. Always appreciate having the invite. Come up here whenever. You already know.
Definitely. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we will close off the show. But hope you all enjoyed it, and definitely stay tuned. So, take care.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I did not know you guys were still here. As you can see, we're at the back end of the show. No pun intended, but look, hope you all enjoyed it. And before you go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow the IG account, share the content to anybody who's anybody. And most importantly, leave your thoughts and comments below. But I got to go back and play Buddy in 2K, so let me unmute him real quick. Excuse me. Hey, boss, I'm back. Nah, you better catch this word. You know we get buckets around here, too.